Today I'm going to do part 2 of my Skydio drone testing, and I'm going to test the non-motion tracking capabilities. So I want to have a look at the controller and some of the other skills that the Skydio has besides motion tracking. And to do that, I've come out to just a beautiful little Texan town called Luckenbach. I think population of 3, and it is quite an iconic little place, and I'm going to use this as my sort of set to just try some of the different skills. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to try the cable. And I love this cable function. It's something that the DJI does not have natively in it. When I was flying the DJI, I actually had a third-party app called Litchi, which gave me this capability. So the idea behind cable is you set a starting point, which I just set earlier, and now I'm manually flying the drone to my second point, my B point. And you can see I'm just using I'm not using the controller, I'm actually just using the control stick on the iPhone app. And I'm now just sort of trying to get a nicely positioned shot. I want the motorbike bottom left, and now I press the B, which marks my end shot. Now by just tapping the A, the drone actually will fly smoothly back along the cable to that start point, to point A. Now it looks a bit jumpy on the phone, but here's the actual drone shot. You can see it's really smooth, it's really beautiful, it's quite a lovely shot. And if we look at it going in, same deal. I never fly drones manually. I'm just not good enough pilot to control 5 separate axes to make the drone smooth. Whereas these cable cams are fantastic. So I was very happy with that. Next off, I thought I'd do a couple of just the simple skills like Dronie and rocket. So I launched the drone again and put it into a hover. You can see I hand launched it, turn around, it's now automatically finding me. The little circle means it's locked onto me. And now what I wanted to do, I thought I'll just do a straight Dronie. So I brought up the skills, went to one shots, hit Dronie. And I actually do use Dronie quite a bit. I think it's quite a nice skill to sort of reveal the landscape you're in. You can see I'm just trying to get the drone a bit closer to start off with. Sort of get that initial opening shot lined up. Now, I'm not sure what I was doing with my glasses. I don't know whether I was trying to be cool, but I actually think it was more the drone was flying towards the sun, so I wanted to actually follow it. And here is the shot, the Dronie from the drone itself. Again, a great shot. The nice thing is you can see the Mavericks flying pretty close to that tree, but I was confident it wasn't going to hit the tree, and it reveals the whole sort of little town of Luckenbach that I was in. Next, I thought I'd just try the rocket skill. I don't use rocket much. It's like a Dronie, except it takes the drone almost straight up. Similar deal, just position the start shot, and then all you do is hit rocket. One thing that's a bit strange about both the rocket and the Dronie skill is you can't adjust the speed until it actually starts. So now that it starts, that's when it displays the speed option, which is kind of weird. I think that I wish they had the speed option there in the setup screen. So when I tried to use the hover skill, that's when I encountered my first problem. And what happened is it appeared to me like the drone just took off and had a mind of its own. So here's what happened from the drone's perspective. This is where the drone just took off. It seemed to have a mind of its own. And when this happened, I didn't know what the heck was going on with the drone. It just took off by itself. I hit the emergency sort of land button, and the drone just went straight down and stopped. It immediately went into a land, which was fine. But it did kind of freak me out. Now, it was only when I got home and I was actually looking at what happened on the app that I worked out what it was. So here I've selected the hover skill, and you can see that it is tracking me. And it's doing a good job. It's following me around while hovering. Now I walk like a Gumby, but there's not much I can do about that. And you can see when I go behind the tree, it loses me. And now it went back to the beacon, which I left on the bike. Now this is where the clue to what happened was. If you look in the background, you can see the drone has actually picked up the person that's tracking in the background. And I didn't realize this. And so now when I took it off hover and I actually selected the skill motion track, the drone was motion tracking a person in the background. So here I select motion track and off it goes. It's now tracking. You can see it's hovering, it's got that little blue line around that person in the background. So it makes sense, now I understand. The drone was doing what it thought was right, but it still freaked me out. So after that freak out at Lukenbach, I decided to go away from the people. And so I went to a small road and decided to investigate the fixed track skill. So I hand launched the drone turned around, immediately locked on me. I select the fixed track skill, and this is a little bit confusing. I wasn't sure how to set this, but what I think it is now is I think it's basically the dot is referring to a compass bearing. So now I've selected it to actually point northeast, and it's now got me in between northeast. I'm going to double check that, but I think that's the way it works. There's a couple of trees along this route which I deliberately selected because I wanted to just see how the obstacles sort of impacted it when it was doing a fixed track. So you can see the drone is now heading in the direction that I want it to head. I start off quite slow. I want to just sort of make sure the drone is on station as I go up to the bend at the end of the road here. And you'll see there's a couple of large obstacles along the side of this road. The drone does a good job just tracking me, is not perturbed by the obstacles. And as I go around the corner, it keeps that angle. It doesn't spin around with me as if it was doing motion track. So it's pointing to the same compass heading. So that was good. I thought I'd do a U-turn, bring the drone in closer, and now sort of have it so that it was going to collide with the trees to see what it did during this motion track, fixed track. Okay, so after I turn this corner, that's when the drone's going to start, basically it'll be on a collision course with these trees. You can see it goes up over the trees, still keeps following me, and then it drops back down. Now, it's kind of behind. I was going quite fast, deliberately, just to see how it went. So the drone is flying as fast as it can to try and keep up. Again, there's another obstacle here, that tree around the corner there. Does a great job just skimming that. And then it gets pretty much back on station here. I thought I'd do one more pass, and this time I would keep the drone just up a little bit higher. Again, it dodges that tree nicely, tracking me perfectly on station. And you'll see here, it just sort of deviates slightly into the middle of the road. And then it swings back out wide when it can. And what happened here is I attracted the attention of some locals. I'm never sure if they're going to welcome me in Texas or shoot me.
Yeah.
Sweet! I saw that thing. I said, where'd that thing come from?
Yeah, it's just following me.
That's what I saw. I couldn't believe it.
And law.
Is that yours?
That's mine. It's autonomous. It follows me.
Oh, wow.
So I just ride and it just follows.
Be careful.
I will.
Now I wanted to get out and just give the controller a try. So I found a nice remote spot, took the drone out, launched it, had a look at the controller. I can't say I'm impressed with the controller. Dropped my phone in the process, cracked the screen, which wasn't a great outcome. There's been a lot written about the controller, and I agree with it. Compared to the DJI controller, it's pretty crap. It uses Wi-Fi for its signal, which is terrible compared to the OptiSync of the DJI drones. I also tried another cable cam just to see if it was easier to set up and execute with the controller, and it was much easier using the controller to get the drone into its A and B spots. So here's my conclusion. I own both drones. I've got a DJI Air 2 and I've got the Skydio. If you want to fly drones manually and sort of get more cinematic shots, etc., DJI hands down, much better drone. But what I want to do is I want to take a drone with me on adventure rides, and I want the drone to capture motorbike footage, hands down the Skydio. I'll be selling my Air 2 when I get back.